Listen.
It's greed, as Ralph said. It was too sweet, as Ralph said. Those are the things that he warned us about.
Chastonay also warned that passport selling countries are being threatened by the US government with a travel ban. Listen.
The US government now has to threaten the countries in the Eastern Caribbean who are doing CIP programs and are threatening them with a ban.
Protect our nation and own the future with the ULP, the party that is working for all of we.
Comrade, you know, nothing boom, boom, boom. And every time I knock on me neighbor door, I hear it labor, labor.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And we are back with you. Time right now, SVG. It is 8:13, and it's the four of us. Yay, full house. All right, so this morning, as usual, when it's Monday, we are joined by Dr. Gerald Thompson, and Doc Nicole is also on the line with us in the virtual.
Nicole, how are you? Let me wave to you.
I'm put on the headphones. How are you going to hear when she's talking?
Yeah, but no, I can still hear.
Oh,
I can hear electronic.
Right. Bionic ears.
Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Doc. Good morning.
Yes, Nicole. Good morning,
Doc. It is lovely to see you.
Let me give you a nice Trinidad morning. I'll give you a nice hug too, right?
Get it and receive it.
We don't even get that. So imagine.
Did. I gave him a big hug yesterday at the.
Doc, I'm jealous. And I don't get jealous. But he only went online with me.
Roleza gave me back the hug. But I found that the hug from Dianna was a little bit more done gingerly. You know what I mean? But it's all right. I'm used to that. I've had lots of hugs I'm a connoisseur on hugs. You understand? I can judge hug. Don't feel the way they are there. Sorry, I should have said it on the radio.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I hear Ollie had a real good time yesterday. That is lovely. I have to join in on the fun another day, okay? So I come in.
We will let you in advance when it is. But yes, as we mentioned earlier, the three of us, and along with, of course, many other persons, we attended the Ex-Teachers of New York, Inc. Association. I think I put those in the wrong order, but that's the essence of what we attended yesterday. And it was very well attended. And it was actually good to be there. There are some faces that I didn't see in a while, so it was good to see that. It was a fundraising event, and it's held annually. So I guess, Doc, maybe you want to just talk just a little bit on it, if you.
Yes, well, I'm a past president of the Ex-Teachers. I was a president in the 90s. As a matter of fact, I was one of those who started the luncheon in New York. We had it at the Grand Prospect Hall, which was not too far from where I used to live. But the teachers get involved in a lot of things, more social. We took the young Vincentian kids and brought them together for different type of events, giving them an experience of St. Vincent in New York. And at the time, there were probably about almost 20, 25 Vincentian organizations, but the Ex-Teachers really stood out. We linked with the Garifuna, all these whole set of things. And so the luncheon, you let me say, a lot of people have now been moving back to St. Vincent, building houses, residing here most of the year, going back. So you could say it's no longer St. Vincent, where the Ex-Teachers of New York. It's also global of St. Vincent. And the event yesterday was really to raise funds also help with the grenadines, bringing back the big drum.
Right.
People know of the boom drum in Rover. There's a big drum in Union Island, and we'll be doing some work with that. And so, yeah. But I could go down a whole list of other things the teachers have done, the history and so forth. But it's one of the premier organizations. Persons are now getting old, and I won't say old. Persons are maturing, right? And let me say, the luncheon provides an atmosphere, and there's a contrast. The music that was there compared to a later show I went to the ULP
All right, you're gonna touch on
at Chronic Law and so forth.
Touch on
There's a big difference in the music styles. Big difference. And
Okay.
ex-teachers, congratulations.
Yeah. All right, and as you there speaking about persons who have moved back, let me just say good morning to Rudolph. So I met somebody yesterday at the event. He was seated at the same table. Oh, right, yeah, you're right. So good morning to Rudolph as well. And yes, it was a little bit bittersweet in a sense, where so Doc told Dianna and I, and he presented the tickets to us on air about a month ago, right? And I wanted to wait until after the event to give proper thank you. I mean, I think we did say thank you on air, but to give proper thank you to the person who got the tickets.
Al Phillips.
Mr. Al Phillips.
He was
right?
an ardent listener of your morning program, whether he was in St. Vincent or New York. And it wasn't me. He seemed to have loved the presentations that you all give compared to some of the other radio stations, and that's what he told me. And he was an ardent listener, so he donated those particular tickets to the both of you. I'm glad that you all came.
Yeah, but what I'm saying it was bittersweet is that I was hoping to at that event to meet him.
Yes.
And then when you told me last week, and it shocked me, and I was on air when I had to call Dr. Renish into something, that he told me that Alf passed away, and it just kind of
2 weeks ago.
It dampened my spirits.
2 weeks ago. Well, I was going to say it after I got back from Brazil, and I felt it might dampen spirits, and so I do. Now the other honoree, this is Ben from Ben's Auto.
I didn't even make the link that it was Ben's Auto until yesterday, but
he passed away almost 3 months ago as well. And I had spoken to him in New York and so forth. He was excited about going and came back and passed away, So it's really sad in that.
And what it is for me is another takeaway, a learning lesson, where if in the moment you feel to tell somebody something, say it then.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting to say it after, not realizing how the circumstances or how things were going to play out. So Alf, if you're listening, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So anyway, on another note, I met Dianna's father yesterday, but we'll continue. But Doc Hall was and I met Dianna's father while we're on our way out. Hey, let me tell you this story, right? This is how you do trust Vincentians when they give directions. So we were on our way out, and I kept saying, but okay, I'm supposed to be approaching, because I haven't been to Spring Garden in a while. I'm supposed to be approaching it, but I felt like I wasn't sure where it was. So we stopped by this random shop, and there is this gentleman there. Then I hear Dianna saying, "Daddy," and I'm there like thinking it's maybe like somebody she calls daddy, not her actual father. So I met Dianna's father yesterday, asking for directions. Dianna's father tell us it's around the corner. It was around 5 corners later. We found where it was. So when you're taking directions from a Vincentian, be very careful, all right? And Dianna's father is a prime example. If you are listening this morning, I said what I said, okay? That is what it is. All right, so Doc, how was your rally?
The rally was massive. I had gone to the rally in Liu, and the Liu thing was just massive. And I said, well, they start off with a high, and you will see things go downhill. But Kalakwa bust it bust the pus. You understand? It popped that pimple. I mean, it exploded.
You couldn't find a different thing.
It exploded. No, let me tell you something.
I
I'm going through.
I got a visual. Why you didn't say it overflowed?
Let me tell you, it overflowed. No, when you overflow a drum, it just. I'm talking. That overflow is passive. Let me tell you, it exploded. I mean, that crowd was so massive, and what was also massive? The street, character streets, going all back up to, you know. I will tell you something. I was coming around with cars. The cars were all parked up, you know, from going back to Blue Lagoon, all the way going up to Mariners Inn Hotel, and all going back into Community College. You couldn't find space in those little side roads. But I tell you, the discussion, I heard Cassell Peters.
Kisal,
yes. Sorry about that, Kisal. And she really
she is powerful.
Grew. She was powerful. She was hot. And then, you know, somebody's coming up on the show soon and so forth. The young representative from Bible, man, you see that everybody growing.
Rodan.
You see everybody growing. Rodan. And of course, Brewster, I don't know, is it that he walks with a posse or something? So it's a whole set of young people there who basically, I want to hear Brewster, and they're blowing horn and so forth all over the time and so forth. You can still hear, but I'm sure that must be distracting to him, but they love it, they love him and so forth. He's a star. And so at any stage, boy, you have a Brewster on, you have a Grace on, you know, and then PM, of course, and then PM, like he last night he was doing this, then he decided to wash him out and so forth. He said, you know, and then Chronic Law came up, and I must tell you something. I must tell you something.
Dancing to Chronic Law.
Yeah. I was dancing out at the ex-teachers function too. I was dancing out there, you know, and then Chronic Law. But when Chronic Law started to sing, I have to tell you, I did not understand all that was being said. Let me say something. There's a generational gap, big one. I did not understand all that was being said, but the crowd was repeating every single word that he said as if they knew it. What am I missing? Is there such a big generational gap that I didn't know? So I went back and I was trying to follow it on, you know, go Google and so forth. And I picked up some of it, you know, and I've always heard of a few quotes from Chronic Law, and I like them. No man is above the law, and no man below it. Justice is conscience, not a personal conscience, but the conscience of the whole humanity. Those who clearly recognize the voice of their own conscience usually also recognize the voice of justice. You know?
Not you quoting Chronic Law, anyways.
That's Chronic Law song,
you pick out certain words.
No.
You pick out the best words.
No, I say this is
go look for a YouTube video.
This is a quote from him in an interview. You understand?
Oh,
the interview, not the song. I mean, the song you gotta break it up and you know, and no man, and then so or I say no man, I say nah man. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it's the translation of it is challenging, but people seem as if they know what the hell he's talking about. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I put myself down. You know? I should have said, well, I understand every single thing you say, but I'm not going to lie to you this morning.
No, well, I didn't even know who Chronic Law was. So, yes, me and you all this morning, okay?
Dianna know.
Dianna knew, yeah. She did. All right. So, that's a bit of what happened over the weekend. Well, the events that all three of us attended, and Doc attended the rally yesterday. But let's maybe just for about 8 minutes or so touch on you changed it. Yeah, we have like about 8 minutes.
Okay.
Let's touch a bit on is the US trying to use Caribbean nations in its fight against Venezuela? All right. So we recognize that last week. All right, you know what? Before that, let me just play a clip, all right, to begin this segment. So the clip is here.
Just say no. That is what organizations in Grenada are saying tonight to its government, which said it was considering a request from the United States to put military assets on the island, as the Trump administration looks increasingly at aiming at Venezuela. Many watchers say a U.S. attack inside Venezuela appears imminent, even though for now, Washington's detour is that it is involved in a war against so-called narco-terrorists on the doorsteps of Caracas. A top U.S. military official came calling to St. George's on Wednesday, but whether his visit was just coincidental or linked to the military desire Washington covets was not clear. The Grenadian government has not said anything at news time tonight, and a promised statement on the admiral's visit did not come.
All right, so that was something that came out last week with Grenadians saying just say no. And this same admiral, he visited Antigua and Barbuda last week as well, and they rejected hosting U.S. military assets there. So reading this from Caribbean National Weekly, so Prime Minister Gaston Brown made it clear that Antigua and Barbuda has no interest in hosting foreign military installations or participating in any form of military activity. I can assure you, I can tell you something else after I read that. What I had to really chuckle, but to continue, he said, I can assure you that Antigua and Barbuda has absolutely no interest in hosting any form of military assets here in the country. And he told reporters yesterday. So the visit comes as Grenada confirmed it is reviewing. Now, this is what the difference is, right? The visit comes as Grenada confirmed it's reviewing a U.S. request to install a temporary radar system and deploy technical personnel at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. So that is what we see happening last week. Now, this is in relation to a visit by, let me just get it. There was an article on New York Times that spoke about the admiral. And interestingly, the same admiral who visited both Antigua and Barbuda and Grenada, he resigned last week, right? So Admiral Alvin Halsey, he is leaving his tenure he's leaving in less than a year into his tenure. He stepped down yesterday, which was Thursday. All right, so the military commander was overseeing the Pentagon's escalating attacks against boats in the Caribbean Sea that the Trump administration says are smuggling drugs. All right, just excerpts, but it's a very long article, but it's very interesting. He's also one current and former U.S. official said Admiral Halsey raised concerns about the mission and the attacks on the alleged drug boats. Prior to Trump, one said that they can't think of a combatant commander who has ever left his post early. Senator Jack Reed said any operation to intervene in military in Venezuela, especially without congressional authorization, would be unwise and dangerous. Admiral Halsey's resignation only deepens his concern that the administration is ignoring the hard-earned lessons of the previous U.S. military campaigns and advice of our most experienced war fighters. All right. So if you want to read that New York Times article, it is titled Head of U.S. Military's Southern Command is Stepping Down, Officials Say. All right. So that came out last week, Thursday. So we're asking the question, is the U.S.-Venezuela conflict, is the Caribbean being dragged into this? All right. Maybe let's start with Nicole and her thoughts on this.
I like how you're starting with me, because the bacchanal starting by me.
Yeah, you know what, Nicole, let me be honest. I was surprised that they didn't approach Trinidad and Tobago.
I am also surprised. But then again, remember, they already do have technically some level of support.
Mm-hmm.
So there was really apparent, from where I sit and my thoughts, so maybe there was no strategic intent to further ask, because there is now a need to be in another space within the region. And maybe because of the history, I am guessing, of it was it 30 years ago already, Grenada invasion, which is actually currently in an anniversary, which is about 3 decades later.
Yeah, I think
yesterday.
Yes, this weekend would have been, So, I mean, it's really something that is very, very concerning. The region has the right to speak up about our safety, particularly because of the industries, tourism and fishing, and other risks with regard to climate resilience issues. But the truth is, I feel like we shouldn't be pulled into this, not at this stage, not in 2025, not when we understand the situations that war and unrest of this nature brings. And this is not a natural issue or phenomenon of anything that is nature related. This is human decision making. So we do have to be very concerned at this time. And we do have to also be able to take a position that is very, very strict and in good standing with what we want to see as our outcomes. We really shouldn't be taking these risks now.
Dianna?
I want to hear what Doc, I want to hear what you have to say.
No, Dianna,
because I shared a few of my thoughts not so long ago. I want to hear your thoughts lest we run out of time.
No, it's like being in a schoolyard and that popular kid who may be a bully is beating up on somebody else. You don't know the person. The person may be darker than you, shorter than you, a person very overweight, and they're beating up on that individual. And we all stand by and watch. And then the person calls us and say, it's something, a term from England, let's stick the boot in. Let's help. So you have to help kick that person and beat that person up. This is serious stuff, because it will have some serious impact on the Caribbean. And so the Caribbean but governments should know. These are very dangerous. On one hand, there will be the pressure of US support and sanctions and so, and then any government goes ahead with this, likely to lose the next election. They won't be able to live this down. They won't be able to. So in the case of Grenada, Mitchell, who's still fairly popular, has to make that particular choice. It's a tough choice. Glaston Brown made it. You understand? There are other countries that would make that within seconds. And so I'm hoping that Mitchell makes that right decision, because there may be some short-term gains of some apparent support or lack of sanctions and be relieved. At the same time, he will have serious problems explaining that he's a lapdog. He's somebody who cowed. He's somebody who really isn't believing in Grenadian sovereignty and so forth. That's the big issue.
I have to say, how Roleza, how we both loved Dick and Mitchell. I don't know where my love stands at this point, Prime Minister Mitchell.
But he hasn't said
it's
yet.
Thinning, yes, and it's thinning as
but
we wait.
But I also think that he wasn't in country.
He went to Ghana,
right?
But
he wasn't in the country at the time. Oh,
I don't
listen to me, sound like I'm making excuses, but anyhow,
I am going on the internet every single day. I don't even know when I became so involved in geopolitics. I'm going on the internet every day just to see what Grenada says. As it relates to this request. In the country of Maurice Bishop, I think it is bold-faced, disrespectful, and insulting of the US to have the audacity. I know they have it in abundance, but to have the audacity to ask to put things in Maurice Bishop International Airport, The insult.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fact that the airport is actually, he started that airport and they know what they did before he even got a chance.
Built by Cubans.
Before he even got a chance to finish that airport, and the airport was named after him, and now you're asking to put things there. And Grenada's like, oh, let's think about it. Think about what? Think about what? What?
All right. Yeah. So I share the sentiments of all three of you. I don't like the fact that they're going to different islands, quote unquote, like shopping around. I mean, well, there's only two in this case, right? Shopping around to
For
see
now.
who would be the one to bite or purchase in the case of that analogy. But I don't like it. You know, we tend to stand collectively as Caribbean, as West Indians or Caribbean nationals. And this going to different countries to ask, no, I'm not in favor of that, right? When you made the mention of Gaston Brown, when I was reading this, reading the article, and a statement was released by CARICOM, right? And of course, it just sounds like your generic type of response, right? I didn't even read through the thing in full because I'm there like, all right, meh, blah, blah, you know? So I wasn't too impressed. Then I saw somebody comment, next time, let Gaston write this response. And I was in agreement, right? Let Uncle Gassy write
Gassy
the
Dread.
response. Let Gassy Dread write the response. And we would get the most bold face, the most unhinged, the most.
You really think I won't disagree with you?
That kind of joking wrong, eh? But
No, I won't disagree with you.
Oh.
You say the most bold face. You let a person who's the prime minister of a country that we know and is dear to us write that response. You understand?
No.
It will be even
It's
bolder.
the same bit of no. Uncle Gassy
You think
has a way
if
of
the PM were to write that
it's
response?
it's not going to
You
be
really
the
think
same.
so?
It's not going
Well,
it's going to oh god,
Boy,
no,
okay.
if I have to go down this road, I'm gonna get blasted by
All
some
right,
people.
okay, yeah.
But no.
But
The
I
response that
understand.
we're
I
going to get
understand what
by
you're saying.
Uncle Gassy is going to, and I'm using Uncle Gassy and not Gaston Brown.
Yeah.
By Uncle Gassy is right. So yeah.
But I'm glad that this time around Antigua has declared their position. We wait to see, if they're going to maintain that position because, and as you said, they're shopping around, and I'm just waiting to see who they're going to go to because when they invaded Grenada in 1983, they shopped around, and guess who helped them? Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Dominica, and St. Lucia. So I'm glad that this time around, at least Antigua say, hey, we're not on that. So I'm waiting to see where else they will go to shop and who will assist them this time.
All righty. And with that, we are heading on out of this segment, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with more commentary this morning. And this time it will be coming from Doc.